The running game, it was effective. It's been very bad, but it was effective last week. What did you see?
I think the question is it here to stay?
Yes.
Was that for real? Because Tennessee is one of the worst run defenses in football. And, there were some things that they were doing schematically that I think made it a little bit easier for the Patriots to run. And that's to the Patriots' benefit. I think some of the things they were doing early, if you watch, they had an extra safety out of the box. So the Patriots have seen a lot of single high safety coverage over the vast majority of this season. The numbers game in terms of trying to run the football against those looks can be really difficult, and it was for the Patriots. But I think what happened in Tennessee, at least to start that game, was Drake Maye's been playing so damn well. They said, okay, finally a Patriots opponent said, I guess we have to pull this extra body out of the box, even though we don't love the receivers they have. The quarterback's so good, he's making the receivers good. And so we'll play an extra safety deep, and we'll try to defend the pass first. And that made it a little bit easier for them to run the ball, especially early in the game.
One fewer guy in that box that you have to worry about.
And to piggyback off of that, you made the statement, the receivers aren't that good. One of the things that's been interesting this season is development of Kayshon Boutte. People that cover the team that we've talked to have said they haven't in their coverage seen a guy develop this much. And whether or not that's true, it's just a statement to how much he's developed. What is his? You talk about him being overrated. What do you think Kayshon Boutte's ceiling is as a receiver on a good team, like with strong receiving talent?
Well, I want to be clear. I think what was happening early in the season was opponents not really respecting their receivers.
Yeah.
So for Boutte, I think Boutte could be a number 2 on a legitimate pro caliber NFL offense, which to me is sort of what he is right now. But in terms of even the targets that he's getting, he probably could stand to get a few more. He's been so efficient, though, and just about everything he catches either goes for a first down or a touchdown. I mean, it's been pretty remarkable, the leaps that he's made. And it's both, from talking to people in the organization, it's both professionally and personally. Like, everybody knew he had a lot of growing up to do when he showed up, and he was a 6th-round pick, and he probably should have been a higher pick than that, but he had a lot of, football character concerns, I think it's safe to say, in that draft that year. But he's still a young guy. He's younger, I believe, than both. These guys aren't with the team anymore, but Javon Baker and Jalen Polk. So he came to the league young, needed to grow up. He has, and it's paid dividend.
Him this week, if the Patriots have to take one of their tight ends to help out Will Campbell on the left side, because that
I think the word is when they have an extra tight end to help Will Campbell on the left side.
So when the Patriots take one of their tight ends to help out Will Campbell over on the left, is it going to make it tougher on Boutte and everyone else who's trying to get open because there's one less receiver out there for the Cleveland defenders to worry about?
Yeah, that's the catch-22. Like, it's great to keep guys in and help with the protection, but if the quarterback has to pat the ball because there's only 2 guys in the route and they're both covered, those guys, even if there are extra bodies in the protection, those guys can only protect so long. So that's something that Josh McDaniels is going to have to play around with, and he's going to have to mix it up and change speeds, to use a baseball term. But, I think he will. He has done that. McDaniels has. Myles Garrett is such a monster that, to me, I think maybe the most interesting matchup in this game is not anything Browns versus Patriots. It's basically Drake Maye against his own instincts, which is to be that big game hunter and that aggressive down the field thrower. The Browns are the second best team in the league at forcing quarterbacks to throw the ball quickly. So it's about 2.6 seconds on average. Opposing quarterbacks have to get the ball out of their hands against the Browns because their pass rush is so good. And it's not just Myles Garrett. They've got a variety of different guys they can send to quarterbacks. So can Drake Maye sort of tamp down that want to throw that deep ball and be that aggressive playmaker that he's been and take those checkdowns? He actually said after the game the other day, I don't want to be a checkdown Charlie, which I love, and I think fans love, and it's fun to watch. But this might be the week where you have to be a little bit more of a checkdown Charlie. I'm interested to see if he can actually do it.
We've spent a lot of time talking about the receivers. Are the receivers really getting that much better, or is it the quarterback just going nuts here at the beginning of the season and making him look that way?
Well, I think, to use the Boutte example, he's gotten much better just knowing what to do, right? Just aligning properly, running the right routes, being where the quarterback expects him to be all the time. So I do give him credit on that front. I think Stephon Diggs is much better now than he was in training camp. So he's gotten better. He obviously has helped, especially in those critical downs, in those situations, 3rd and 4th down. It feels like they go to him every time, and he comes through. So I think there has been some improvement there, but you're right. There's a symbiotic relationship. If it was Mac Jones or it was Cam Newton, would these guys be looking the way they look? Of course not. So, you have to be able to do the right things. The quarterback has to be able to trust you. So that's on you as a receiver. But Drake Maye's doing things, especially, again, when he throws down the field. I mean, you guys probably remember, but that throw down the left sideline to Stephon Diggs, I think it was in the 3rd quarter last week, where he's just right along the sideline. Drake Maye couldn't have handed it to him any more accurately.
Ball to Mac Hollins, too. Same thing.
The throw to Mac Hollins, the throw to Boutte, where he's getting hit in the face and Will Campbell's getting driven into his lap. I mean, he's doing a lot of things to help these guys be as productive as they've been.
The timing on those routes, is it easier than what they're trying to do with Pop Douglas right now? Because there seems to be timing issues going on right there.
And he made a great play. I thought that was more on Drake Maye than it was on Pop Douglas, the almost incompletion on 4th down, where Pop Douglas has to reach back and catch it. Sometimes you'll see a quarterback sort of throw it behind the receiver because he's expecting him to settle down, or he's trying to protect him from a hit that's coming the other way. There was really nobody.
No, he saved his ass.
Douglas saved
his ass. Yeah,
I mean, it was right after Maye got back in the game after slamming his head on the
There
turf.
were 2 guys that it would have hit one of them in the stomach. I mean, that was, if I'm recalling it correctly, when he reached back and got that ball, just getting a hand on it did him a favor.
It was great, but, we're talking about the symbiotic relationship here. Thank you, Phil. And is it?
I wasn't paying attention.
Is it all on Drake, or is there something just going on with the timing with these two where it's not at the level that we've seen with a couple of the other receivers?
I think there are times, and there have been times, where there is some confusion with Maye and Douglas. Okay, especially against zone, and the Patriots have seen a lot of zone this year because they want to keep eyes on Drake Maye. Defenders want to keep eyes on Drake Maye in case he breaks the pocket and starts to run. Zone is the better thing to do against those types of quarterbacks, generally speaking. So if you see a lot of zone and Pop Douglas is playing that traditional slot receiver role for Josh McDaniels, you've got to be really on top of it in terms of what you're seeing, where to settle down in the soft spot, when to keep running. And it feels like those types of plays haven't always gone well for Douglas. To me, and I wonder if they'll do this week. Again, it's probably just based on the Browns' pass rush. It's not going to be a great down-the-field throwing kind of day for the Patriots. But if I'm Josh McDaniels, I would much rather just try to use Douglas not as Julian Edelman or Danny Amendola or Wes Welker or Troy Brown, but use him as somebody who can threaten the deep part of the field. He's small, which I get, so he's not your traditional X. He's not Calvin Johnson. But he ran a 4.4 coming out of Liberty, and he's got enough speed to be able to stress a safety, which not a lot of guys on this team do. Even though Kayshon Boutte's been really productive down the field, he's not a speed guy down the field. And so I would try to use him like a Tyler Lockett or a T.Y. Hilton. Like, these guys were undersized burners that really put stress on the deep part of the field for opposing defenses. So if you're lacking that, or you thought Kyle Williams would be that and he really hasn't been yet, why not try Pop Douglas in that role and just send him long and see if you can leverage Drake Maye's strengths that way, because he's been through 7 games. He's been the best deep ball thrower in football.
For the latest from the Sports Hub, download at 985thesportshub.com.